Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order for our July 18th Police Commission meeting. With that, I'd ask everyone to stand as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you can please remain standing as we do a quick moment of silence to remember the sacrifices that our men and women make every day to keep us safe. Thank you. Unfortunately, Dick is away today with some medical stuff at home, so please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. With that, prior to today's PC meeting, we had an executive session that was to discuss personnel issues. And with that, we can go ahead and move to the approval of the minutes from the June 18th meeting. Do I ever hear a motion to proceed with these?
Sure, so moved.
And I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Please slide down to the minute, Kelly. Thank you.
I guess, does anyone have any questions or changes to the minutes? Great work, passes 2-0. No chairman's report because Dick is not here. Vice Chair, I just want to thank all the men and women who helped us at Community Day, East Goshen Community Day. It was nice to see everyone out there. I appreciate the extra protection. I know residents appreciate it as well. And also want to thank all the officers for their time in advance for the Goshen Fair that starts in 2 weeks. It's always a good time for all of our residents and many who come in from other townships. I just appreciate all the extra help that you will be providing. So with that, I'll turn on over to Tom.
I don't have anything to report. We just want to keep everybody safe.
Appreciate that, Tom. We're going to go on over
And
to.
happy.
With that, I'll go turn over to our interim chief, Dave Lakey, on any reports and concerns you'd like to report.
Thank you. So no concerns at this time. Just want to bring up, actually I have no compliments for this meeting either. I'll forward any compliments to the next police commission meeting when I gather some more. As far as news goes in the department, in late May, sworn and non-sworn members of the police departments voted on the department's officer of the year for 2024. Three officers were nominated for the award. They were nominated by the sergeants within the department after a meeting to discuss who they believe deserved that honor. Those three nominees were Officer Mark McKinney, Officer Ryan Benningfield, and Officer Devin Hinman. We're happy to announce that as a result of the entire department voting on those three candidates, Officer Ryan Benningfield was voted to be the 2024 Officer of the Year in the department. So he will be presented with his award at a future meeting. So
Congratulations, Officer Benningfield. It's great.
What's the criteria for that?
So we changed it a little bit before. So before it was the criteria was anybody could nominate an officer just based on their performance. This year we wanted it to come from the sergeants that directly supervise the officers on a daily basis and see their performance on a daily basis. So it sort of kept it more fair rather than an officer from each squad or each division being nominated. It allowed for a group discussion on officers' productivity and how they presented themselves in a year. So overall productivity, just their presence, appearance, certain arrests, if they had certain life saves, all goes into account.
Did that eliminate the sergeants from being officers?
So actually, when we discussed this change, Tom, I said, I think the sergeant should be part of this officer awards here. And it was overwhelming by the sergeants. They said, no, we wanted to be an officer. They didn't want to be involved in the award. This is something that they wanted their officers to get. So that was a decision made by the sergeants.
Like all of our officers, officers of the year. Fantastic. Anything else in regards to the report concerns before we move to the statistical reports?
Yeah, just a couple more things. So I just want to, the storms in June, specifically on the 19th, were a challenge for our officers with multiple trees, wires, poles down across roadways, specifically in Westtown, down stretch of 202 here. It was horrible, almost like a war zone came through. So we worked really hard. Our officers worked really hard for not just that day of those storms, but the days after to get, assisting with our road crews. So we want to thank Westtown Road Crew, PennDOT, Pico Crews. That was a challenging storm that came through. We were extremely busy. But in regards to that, we try and update our social media and our Crime Watch broadcasts in real time the best we can. Just to let the residents know, what road closures there might be. But just so everybody in our residents know, sometimes we just can't because we're that busy. Well, we will get to it eventually. But if there's trees down across, Pleasant Grove Road and officers are directing traffic or doing whatever it needs to, they can't just stop and get it. We'll get it to it eventually, but it just may not be immediate, so. Again, Cody, you alluded to the Goshen Country Fair coming up, same operations as, last year. Last year's, the way it was operated, was, very efficient, made the event extremely safe. We had a good presence at the fair.
When is that?
It's August 28th to the 2nd.
Oh, July.
I'm sorry, July 28th to August 2nd, I believe. Lieutenant Stafford and I will be splitting the time at the fair, at the command post. So
You said John and who?
Lieutenant Stafford and I will be splitting our time. So we'll each take 3 nights, as command of the event. It'll be staffed with officers, both on regular duty time. And we've spoken with the fire company. They are aware that, they're going to have to account for certain portions of overtime, that's going to be incurred for the event. So, but we are working, diligently to make sure it's, safely, staffed.
You might letting us know once you figure out what the percentage breakdown will be, what they're willing to pay.
Yeah, we're still working on getting it filled, but I'd probably say,
You don't have to get,
I don't want to speculate. I'll get you the.
our PCC here doesn't cover it. We're out of that now for community.
That's all I have for the news.
Great. Any comments from the board?
Nope.
In the room? Right, statistical report. We have
So-
the meetings on Monday and Tuesday, so thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for giving us a
Oh,
meeting.
absolutely. So in June, the total incidents covered in June were 1,961. Year to date, as of June 30th, for the department's 11,988. Specifically in Westtown, there were 897 calls in June, and East Goshen, there were 1,064. The entire breakdown of all of our calls can be viewed on the Police Commission packet, as seen on the screen here, which can be located on our Crime Watch page. Some trends in regards to statistical reports. As I state every month, the department continues to take fraud reports. There is one going around now that's not just to us, but around the region, regarding the individuals being called by somebody who claims to be a member of the Chester County Sheriff's, and they're a deputy, and advising that there's a warrant for their arrest because they failed to show up for jury duty. They tell tell the person to that they'll need to transfer money of some sort, whether it be wired or through Bitcoin, in order to clear up the warrant. The Chester County Sheriff's Office, we want everybody to know, does not call individuals demanding money. They have asked that if residents receive these types of calls about the Sheriff's Office, call their office directly at 610-344-4000. And also to report the call, we would ask that they report the call to our police department. And individuals can also report to the Federal Trade Commission at www.ftc.gov. That's all I have for statistics.
Great. Any questions from anyone, Tom?
Nope.
We can go ahead and move over to the Township Roundtable. We can start with our friends at Westtown. Mila, please.
Sure. So we are working on organizing a Route 926 cleanup. So that would run from intersection of 926 and 202 all the way down to Westtown Road. Our environmental advisory council would like to get the volunteers together on September 14th on Sunday early morning. So we'll work with Vigo to provide an oversight, making sure that the group is safe as they are moving along the roadway and picking up trash. Westtown Township adopted that portion of a highway, so we hope to do cleanups maybe twice a year. And it's interesting, once EAC was working on this initiative, we got a couple of calls that residents were saying how dirty that side of 926 is with all the trash. So we hope that we can get a lot of cleanup done. We have a lot of going on in terms of land developments. We did receive a revised land development plan for the Stokes Estate. It's off Shiloh Road. Development of 78 homes. There are 2 pipeline easements, Enterprise and Buckeye. So it's going through the planning commission review right now. If the land development would get approved this year, I would assume the construction would start probably next spring because they would like to move it along pretty fast. Sarah Stockweather Elementary School will be doing an addition. So they are going through the land development process. So they will be demolishing their modular units at the rear and then adding up front a couple of classrooms and some modifications. So they hoping to start that construction, I believe, 2026. So it's going to be some time. We also have Westtown School apply for another land development of Westtown Road and the private street, which is Oak Lane. They will be demolishing one of their buildings and building about 23,000 square feet dining hall. We are working with Westtown School. What we realized, our records did not match their records for addressing. So we've been working with the Chester County GIS and Emergency Services Department just to make sure that they are aware of all the addresses on Westtown School property. So there was a lot of discrepancies with the addressing. To address the fence at Old Pond Park, as you know, with the windstorms, we've had an issue. The fence that was installed as a part of $6 million project, some of it bended. A lot of the poles are very loose. So the township is working with the engineer and a contractor. We might have to replace entire fencing at that project. So we might need to close off some of those courts because the fence gets really loose. And with more windstorms, it's just not, it doesn't make it any easier or any better. The corner of 202 and 926, PennDOT was supposed to start the project June 1st. They are delayed by PECO and Verizon. We were hoping that that project would be done before the schools would open. So it doesn't seem to be the case. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a traffic nightmare come school. So, and yeah, that's about it.
Any questions for me like one now?
I have a question. That house that's on the corner,
It's for sale. We are subdividing it. So
it's not historic?
it is, it's eligible for the National Register of Historic Places, but we don't have an ordinance in place that requires you to retain the house. So Westtown is subdividing 2 acres. It's like a corner.
Okay.
So it's going to be a house with 2 acres, and then we will be putting it out for public auction. For
So that house could be raised,
raised, you mean?
demolished.
Oh, yes.
That's an old southern term, just raise it,
Well-
raise it, get it out of here.
In terms of regulations, yeah, so we don't have anything in place that prevents you from purchasing it and demolishing it.
The 2 houses behind it, and maybe a policeman here who can help us with it, the old Westtown Highway, there's a brick house. They
Oh,
caught
the
on
old
fire.
Wilmington Pike?
Yeah, who owns those?
So that's privately owned and it's about 5-acre parcel behind it.
So that's not part of all of this,
No,
Stokes property or?
yeah, it's not Westtown property. So we have to maintain Old Wilmington Pike. That's the township's responsibility. So we have to maintain it and we have to maintain that access for that one property and for. the
But that
building
road is
on-
closed.
Well, it's closed because the tree fell down and we are waiting on PECO and Verizon to take care of it. But it's not officially closed. It is a public road.
Can that house be condemned because it's what I guess people would call an attractive nuisance, but people are carrying on no good?
Yeah, we can. We can. I think the township's kind of position was in the beginning, because we were going through the purchase, is to see what's going to happen because they put it up for auction. They were trying to sell it. And then we had a pending sketch plan for that house to be demolished. But I haven't heard anything for.
Do you have any
a couple of
problems
months
there? None? That's good.
Tom, you looking at the west end or?
I was looking at the property myself as a vacation home. You know, it's got a gazebo.
in the back with the mannequin in it, I think.
I don't know, well,
It is a mannequin.
it's
Thanks.
just such an asshole.
I have recent pictures of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Not related to real estate?
No, I was, that's,
Okay. From East Goshen's standpoint, we've already talked about the fair, and Derek's off today. He didn't want me, make me aware of anything else. So with that, we can go ahead and move over to the review of approved bills. I did have a question, Kathy. Should have asked this before. I see for Comcast, we have 3 different charges, and Verizon. Why don't they just put everything together on one bill?
We wish we could. We've tried. Kate tried to do it before she left.
What's the reasoning?
Sometimes you're on hold for 2 hours.
Customer service or
You don't
whatever.
understand the different addresses for like the LPRs and then the police department and,
We had the same issue with Pico,
yeah.
exact same
Yeah.
issue. We requested to have like a business manager and they said that we don't have enough accounts to justify a business manager.
Tom, did you have any questions about the review of the bill? Open up the room for any questions on the bills. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the June 10th and June 24th bills.
second,
All in favor? Aye.
uh,
Pass 2-0. We have no old business, new business, either Kathy or Dave. Floor is yours.
I don't know how much detail you want me to go into the proposed 26 budget. I could do a line item or I could do sections. Up to you. I can start and then you can,
I think overall, like the increase from last year to this year, if everything was granted and like a, since we're just in July, so.
first I'd like to start with, that any recent changes that have been done to the, scheduling and the police department have not been recognized in this budget. So this budget's going to change every few weeks as I get insurance premiums, as you negotiate the contract with the officers. And again, schedule changes that might affect the budget for the better. So this budget is considered version 1 and the interim chief's requesting the replacement of 2 positions, the chief and the officer who resigned at the end of 2024. Currently, we have 31 uniformed officers and we're requesting an increase to 33, which agrees with the recommendation in the staffing study. Additionally, Chief Leahy is requesting 4 new vehicles as supported by the study. Historically, we've purchased 4 vehicles annually under the agreement between Westtown and East Goshen. However, only 2 were approved for 2025. Please note that the vehicle maintenance costs have significantly increased. While $58,000 was approved for 2025 for vehicle maintenance, the projection now estimates an expense of $79,000. An additional drone has also been requested. Interim Chief Leahy will provide further details on that, the necessity of that. It's also been suggested that we establish a drone sinking fund. That's to be determined. We'll wait to see if the second drone is even approved. Lastly, 1 e-bike is being requested for the bike unit. We're anticipating the opening of Freebilly as a public park. And we'd like to note that a sergeant that's in the drop right now will be retiring in February of 26. So with that being said, we go down to payroll expenses. And since we're in the middle of, well, we haven't even started contract negotiations yet, it was suggested that I increase the payroll by 3%, which is basically the CPI from last year of 2.9. So my projections for payroll, even though we're increasing everyone by 3%, the budget's increasing by 3.06, mostly due to the fact that we're not replacing an officer that retired at the end of 2023. That officer that retired at the end of 23, we were not really notified. We didn't have a lot of time to know about it. So he was included in the 24 budget, and then we weren't sure he was in the 25 budget. We're taking that officer's position out. So even though the budget's increasing 3%, we have saved a lot of money by not replacing the officer that left at the end of 2023. We did have one that left at the end of 2024 that we would like to replace. And according to Chief Leahy's plan, we would need that position. The various step raises also make up for that. We have 8 people in the step raises, and their raises come either in January, well, on their anniversary. 4 of them start on January 1st. A couple of them are March and a couple of them are June. So their raises don't function that. For 2026, the fact that we have step raises on anniversary dates only saves the department about $27,000. The next group is benefit expenses. That would increase by 5.12%. Mostly because I estimated all the insurance premiums increasing by 5%. We won't know that till my meeting with the Irma H.A. Thompson in September.
September, late September.
It's early. So we'll know more in September there. We also, in red, you'll see, we increased the uniforms under benefits by 12,000 for replacement uniforms for the 2 replacements for the chief and for the officer that resigned at the end of 2024. And also, we increased the insurance, health and whatnot by 5%. I will know probably sooner than September for the insurance health because our anniversary date is October 1st. So we're in the process of talking about things right now. I just had to be pivot the other day. Vehicle expenses, that one increased quite a bit with our request for 4 cars instead of 2. Obviously, if we had approved 4 cars in 2025, that increase wouldn't look so big. But we are requesting 4 cars. We have Corporal Large here who's in charge of our vehicles, and of course, Dave Leahy to justify the fact that we need the 4 cars. If anybody would like.
I have questions, but I don't know if you want to go through everything. I have questions about a couple of things. So I don't know if you want to keep going and come back to
How about if I
questions.
finish and we'll come back? Yeah, we only have one more section and that's under other expenses. That increased 6.55. We just hit on the big ones. We have under computers, 134,000. This is because we will be paying Cody, our RMS record management system, 20 grand. Dell 11,000. That is for our cloud service. 365. Cato is our computer guru. That's 80,000. Celebrate that we share with West Goshen and other townships is about 10,000, and Crime Watch is 13,000. I know that Chief Leahy wanted to talk a little bit more about this. I guess we can wait. I'll be finished in like 5 minutes and then we can get back to that. And he would also like to talk about the additional drone, which would be about $9,000 for the drone and $1,000 for batteries. The reason I actually just didn't put in 10,000 for drones is because the batteries will be something that we would have to do, continuously after the drones been purchased. It'll probably be $1,000 a year, maybe in batteries. Yeah. So I wanted to separate those two. So other expenses increased 6.55%. The total budget only increased 4.57%. When we get to all of the receipts.
Wait, can we go back to that? Sorry, in order to do
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
The total other expense, it says 755. It says it increased 6.55. So for projected in 2025 is 926. Proposed.
That's 23. Well, that's because of the projected 2025. There was invoices in there that we will no longer have. 75,000 to Axon, 7,500 to Axon. Those are payments that were made that we no longer. They've been reduced significantly for
Because the approved was,
2026.
because the approved was 709. It's looking at like it's gonna be 923.
Correct. The 79 of that was from Axon that we paid that we didn't owe. So we refunded under receipts. I think I mentioned that in the month-end report.
So it's down to 120.
Right. So.
Sorry, go ahead. That's what.
That's okay, no problem. So when we get to the township's contributions, I'm gonna assume a $250,000 surplus. And then we have receipts for parking and pension and whatnot. After all that is removed from the 10.4 million proposed 2026 budget, the 2 townships contributions would increase by 3.89% over 2025. The next box down says capital contribution. That's according to the agreements that we have between West County and Scotian. That will increase to 22,650. That goes into our capital reserve fund. And for the first time, I added our reserve fund, our AKA sinking funds chart at the bottom to show you that we have, at the end of this year, about $500,000 saved for sinking funds for phones and weapons and computers and LPRs and MPRs, and the list goes on. That, I think, if we have any unusual requests for, let's say, tasers, because ours are 11 years old, we can certainly take it out of the sinking funds.
On the vehicles you have in red, we do not want to begin this again.
Do we want to?
Oh, do we want to?
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
we mean to
So,
find?
we used to save for vehicles and, we thought after doing the 4-year lease purchase, basically a car loan, we thought maybe we could that's just to buy them outright. And, I'm gonna say 3 years ago, whoever was on the commission, I don't remember who that was, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, they decided that we should continue just doing the loans and that we would move the money that we had from vehicle purchases in the sinking fund to the MVR at the time we needed the money for that. So we no longer save for vehicles, but I put in red, do we want to begin this again? It's a whole new commission. It's a new year. It's a new economy. Up to you.
Dave, did you have anything you want to add to the budget before Tom and I start asking questions?
So your comments, yeah. Adjourn and
So I guess I'll start with the one item in regards to Crime Watch and the labs component of Crime Watch. Crime Watch is a great tool that we've been using for years now. I look at the labs portion though as something we may want to explore in the future is how much we and our citizens actually get out of it. It is a good portion of the expense that we pay annually for Crime Watch.
It's about
And that labs-
13,000 you're talking about?
Yeah, so it's about $3,000 per year or so just for the labs, for the labs portion itself, for that portion of Crime Watch. Then what that is that's the crime mapping. So it integrates, our calls and shows where, calls are in the townships. Again, I don't know how much our citizens use it, how much, police commission or elected officials take a look at it. But in general, Crime Watch is a great tool, but we might be able to save somewhere and going with a regular standard,
So it'd be
website based, we could still provide the same services.
But the way to track who you.
I'm going to reach out to Crime Watch to see that they have analytics on that. Yeah, there was something from,
3 people looked.
Yeah.
There was one point where we looked and it was only 3 people that ever looked at it.
$1,000 a visit.
yeah, so it's just something that I'm going to explore. I'm not saying it needs to be done this year, but it's something we can get.
Okay.
As far as the drone request, last year when I presented and Chief Bernat presented my proposal for the drone program, implementing the drone program, my proposal suggested the purchase of 2 drones. Thankfully, we were able to, the police commission did approve the drone that we do currently have, which is a larger model, a more expensive model, which has been a great, valuable tool for us in the first, probably since March when we started our program. We've utilized the drone on surveillance, criminal investigation surveillance jobs. We've used it for searches, community events. It's a valuable tool. The reason why I'm looking at to add another drone to the unit is this one's a little smaller. It's a little sleeker. It's not as loud. For example, if our criminal investigations division is trying to do surveillance, they don't want the drone that we currently have being so close because it's so big and it can be heard from the ground. This one's smaller, like I said, is more portable, of easier access for our officers. In addition, if we do have one drone go down, we then have another one back up to use. So we will use both of them. They'll both be utilized. It's not like we're getting, asking for one that we want to shelf the other one. They'll just be used in different manners. The second one also is improved for mapping and scene mapping and such, with the one that I'm proposing to purchase in 2026.
Tom, do you have any questions?
No, I'm sure we'll explore before the budget's approved.
I have a couple questions if you don't mind. Jason's gonna love me for this. I'd like to get into the cars a little bit. So I know you had some comments, and if you want, Jared, would you rather ask a question?
I'd rather you ask.
Okay, perfect. So so the first is our townships, when we have like big vehicles or things like that, we usually have like a capital replacement plan. I know in the past, we really haven't had to have it because our agreement said that you get 4 new cars each year.
Mhm.
Is there a way for you to help us plan out in the future instead of if we didn't want to do 4 cars each year, maybe 1 year it's 2, then 2 years it's 6? Is there a way to be able to map that out on like a replacement plan?
I think mapping it out would be difficult. However, and one of my comments would be is, if we were to, every time that we get close to being able to be fiscally responsible and say, we only need 3 cars this year, we get dropped down to 2 cars. So then now we're behind the 8 ball trying to catch up with these cars, and our maintenance cost is high. And we say, hey, we're gonna need 5 cars next year.
Anticipating that you get 3?
No, anticipating that I get 5. And we've done that. The commissions in the past have done that to catch me up. And then like this year, if we would have had the 4 cars, next year it would have been easy for me to say, we only need 3.
Okay.
Based on mileage, most of our cars in the Dodge line are 100,000-mile warranty cars. So that's a lot of savings in maintenance. We still have tires, we still have hoses and things like that, but I would like to stick with the 4-car plan until we get to that point to where our mileages are all low and we can say,
How long would it take for you to get to that?
if we would have got 4 this year, we would have got, but next year we could have bought 3.
And then the following year,
I would have to look at
Yeah.
the mileage.
just because I know that my township's interested in knowing that to justify, like, some years, if you, I don't see you prove to us, but if you show us and help us understand more what the vehicles do, because I don't know if all my board members understand, like, you have to keep it running because of the computer and the wear and tear. So like, allow me to be your advocate to help my board understand.
So again, it all depends on how active an officer is, but most of the officers do between 60 and 120 miles in a shift. So if you're running 4 guys on a shift, you can do the math on the mileage. I believe it's 25,000 a year. So that's what we're doing. And we're generally 2 to 3 a car with reallocating vehicles. Like the study says, we have the traffic unit car that's 9 years old.
So in your 4 requests, are you asking for a new TSU one? Or these just 4?
No, I would reallocate. So we have a patrol vehicle. It is an unmarked patrol vehicle right now that we have 4 guys in. So we're stacking miles very quickly on that car. So then it would go with 50 to 60,000 miles to TSU. And we would replace that patrol car.
So you're gonna really dislike me on this question. So you're allowed to say it's not possible, but is there a way, because my board's already asked me about this, is there a way to figure out what our fleet is? Help us understand that these cars have like 100,000-mile shelf life. These other ones have a longer one that TS can like break it down for us on like, this one right now is at 60,000, replacement 75,000. We can anticipate that would be next year. Because I already had a board member ask me, hey, well, I want to know how many miles are on every car. Perfect. Okay, just so we can understand. So then I can be like, okay, these are at the average this per year.
We try to take all of our cars to 100,000 miles. The only reason that wouldn't be is your traffic safety puts less miles.
Yeah.
Our detectives put less miles. And so we would get rid of them based on them being 10 years old or they're starting to rust.
Which I
Holes in
yeah,
them.
yeah. Which I can get but my board doesn't understand. That's why I'm trying to like being able to give them information, understand why we would need more.
And I just back up and for a second here on this. So I know when Jason took over managing the fleet,
I'm not trying to be difficult, sorry.
no, I understand what you're saying.
Good question.
No, so he worked diligently on getting us in a rotation where all your questions, Cody, are basically almost circular, are happening again every year. So we got to the point where, okay, we need those 4 cars, but we have this plan in place where we're reallocating, we're taking our cars to the maximum limit And then at the end of their life, we're still getting maximum value out of them at the resale. So taking away 2 cars now sort of sets him back in its initial plan that started 5-6 years ago a little bit. And there was an issue a few years ago where, we were authorized a car that was supposed to be an E vehicle, and they never manufactured it. We never got the car at all. So that set it back. So it's a consistency really helps with the year-to-year transition of the cars and maintenance too.
So I guess forecasts are based on the number of officers, the number of fleet, and the geographic area, and the number of mileage that the officers has put on a regular basis. That's why it's 4.
Yes, and so the fact that we run 4 people on the street.
Yep.
That it kind of falls into that rotation. And COVID affected us with less mileage. There's just so much that goes into it to be able to say, this year, we're gonna absolutely need 4 cars.
Can I interject? Years ago, when they were starting to do the plan between the 2 townships, we were needing 4 cars a year. It was as a result of us keeping cars over 100,000 miles. And I did a study on how much it costs per mile per car for maintenance. And when it was 0 to 50,000, it may have been 25 cents a mile. And then it just went up, and 90 and above was like $1 something a mile. I could do that again. I can fit that in my schedule if it was like that.
I don't know right now.
Jason.
Line 41.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that seems like a lot of work. I
Okay.
appreciate that though. So I'm gonna keep going with the cars here. You tell me to shut up, Tom, if you have a question. The financing them, what is it? What is an interest rate for financing?
Believe it or not, it's higher than like you or I could get.
That leads me to my question, why don't we just purchase them?
Right.
I feel like we have the money. Okay. And then my last question about the cars is for the maintenance. So you said it went up about $20,000.
Mhm.
Is there, or 21,000? Do we go to a specific dealer? Are we able to shop different dealers for maintenance, or because they're police cars, they can go to a specific one, or?
We use for minor maintenance, like hoses, brakes, tires. We use Thornton's Golf on Westchester Pike. For any recall work or warranty work, they go to the dealer.
Okay. Do you feel as if Thornton, what do you say, is Thornton's Golf?
Mhm.
Do you feel like they're a good deal? Do you think it'd be worth buying other places, or do you think
Several people have come in and tried to beat them, and
they can't?
they can't.
Okay, as long as we're actively shopping on services, that's what really was my.
They really take good care of our police department. Our cars get towed. We tow a car almost every week.
Okay.
They don't charge us for towing.
Okay.
You tow a police car every week?
Yeah, we just did the other day. There's a lot here.
For what?
That hose.
Oh, a hose.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's helpful. All right. My questions are good for now. Jason, I'm sure I'll come back. Sorry to be the car guy, but
It's fine.
Tom, I'll shut up. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have to justify cars to my board.
And then I'm gonna go over to the drone here. Dave?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna keep asking for stuff here. Is it possible? I hear everything that the drone does. I see what the drone does when I go to events and things like that. Is there a way for you to it doesn't have to be 3 pages, just like a quick memo about what we've done with the drone so far, how it's helped. I know at the fair last year, I talked with Mike about how it helped calm an incident very quickly because you guys were able to see where they're at. If you were just able to put something together, because my board seemed like we already gave them a toy last year. Why would they need another toy, right? So if I can show, hey, they're using it this often, we have 6 new people that are trained on it. Other departments are using it.
Mhm.
Just something for me to be able to go to my board and be like,
Yeah.
this is why we need it.
Yep, absolutely.
And then my last thing is about the e-bike. How many e-bikes do we have now?
So we don't have any. We don't have any e-bikes. I brought this up. I proposed sort of purchasing a new bike, mountain bike, police mountain bikes, probably
2
2
years
years ago. And for the reasons of our, growing the walkway in East Goshen that was, made a few years ago, anticipating Prebley Farm. The bikes that we currently have now have been within the department longer than I've been here. So they're from the mid-90s. We've never replaced any of our police mountain bikes. With plans that I currently have in play with our sectors that the police commission is aware of, certain points, this will give our officers more time to be able to utilize the bikes on a daily patrol basis, which we don't have that ability.
Where would you do that?
Where would we? So,
Hypothetically, if Craig Billy doesn't open up,
so just on a daily patrol basis. So when I was on the bike team, what I would do is I would take it out with me, put it on the back of a police car. I would take it to different shopping centers. I'd take it to different neighborhoods. I'd park the car, go out and ride for 15, 20 minutes. It's a great tool for community policing. It gets the officers out there in the community, out of the cars. It's a good health benefit as well. Again, just in the recent years, we just haven't been able to do that because of staffing levels and such. But going forward, I think the opportunity will be there more. So we don't have to replace the full complement of bikes that we have now. We have about 10 bikes. I don't think that's
how many
necessary.
did you get rid of? Or how many are at the point that they would be fine, not like they wouldn't be missed because they're not operable?
Look, they're all pretty operable. Like they'll need annual maintenance and costs and such, but they're heavy, they're old. There's bikes out there that are a lot better now, lighter. But the e-bike specifically, we've never had one. It would be a great benefit again in a situation like Krebly we had to get in somewhere, quick. That e-bike would help.
Especially the rest out there on the e-bike.
And just to that point, I know
You speak up.
I know you had the question of like, where would we use it or how often we use it? I know that like, if I were to get out there and ride a regular bike right now, I'm not gonna use it as much or cover as much area with it as a regular bicycle, right? Because, especially like trying to pedal somewhere or even a call comes in nearby, you're like only able to go so far, right? With an e-bike, like you'll be able to cover more area with an e-bike than you would with a regular bike. So like I could go probably from Goshen Valley easily right up to East Goshen Park or up to Paley Pike and cover the new walking trail with an e-bike more so than I would with a regular bike.
They're fun, I'll tell you that.
And to Russ's point, and we utilized them a lot years ago in the apartment complexes along Westchester Pike during, if we had a rash of vehicle break-ins. It's a great tool to be able to be in our neighborhoods to,
That's why I like the thought of like riding through Bow Tree or
Yeah.
riding through.
Would it save us on mileage on the cars?
That's what I have for now. Appreciate the answers. I'll probably come back to you, Jason. Have you sent this to the boards, or not to the boards, please, the township finance, I guess, to Mila and then to Dave Ware?
To Derek, I did.
Okay.
I'm happy to send it to anybody who would like. and-
You might
and
forward it
we
to
can
Dave
on a
Ware as well.
separate- Yeah, and we can have separate meetings if you'd like, answer any questions.
You mean budget meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I won't do a version 2 until I hear from you.
Between my next board, like when I'm able to talk to my board and figure out other stuff on here, I don't know when the next version would be, but I do want to touch base with Dave.
Okay. Just as a reminder for those that haven't been involved before, this needs to go from the commission to the townships by October. I think October 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, and I think that my board, the sooner that my board can see stuff, the easier. it will be.
Right.
So I appreciate all the work everyone did to put this in now.
Of course, it's gonna change with the contract negotiations as well. So,
Okay, I'm hogging the bean with questions. Anyone else have any questions about the 2026 budget or, I guess Tom and I are good. Anything from the public, in the room?
Yeah, I like the, Mike Ragney, West County Scotia Police. First of all, I want to recognize, all the work that Kathy's been doing for the budget and Kelly. Every time you walk into that admin room, they're tirelessly working. Kathy's always buried in papers and computers. So I just want to recognize that, they're doing a great job. In addition to, Dave and Jason and all the officers here, I think everyone's stepping up and doing a great job. So I formally want to invite you to our booth at the fair. I know, Cody, you stopped by because you're up there a lot. We have a booth up there where we interact with the residents and the people that are at the fair. We have a bunch of giveaways, t-shirts and
WeGo knick-knack stuff. And, Tom, we'd like to invite you. It's a really neat, opportunity to not only see, the residents and how we interact with them, but also see, our operation for the security aspect of the fair with the drone and the officers and the way they respond to certain things. I think that's kind of an opportunity for the police commission and township managers and supervisors to come and see actually how we operate. So we would officially want to invite you to that. You're more than happy to come up any night. So, and then also with all the budget stuff that I'm hearing, I think it's great that you guys are able to come up with a budget like that is fiduciary responsible, but then also giving us the stuff that we need. A $10 million budget is a bargain for a police department, because our neighboring departments, they're between $8 and $12 million budgets. Ours is 10, and then you divide that by 2 townships, we're at about roughly 5 million per township, which is really great. And that's a compliment to everybody sitting in this room. Russ, do you have anything to add to that? No, you're just wanted to thank everybody for everything that they're doing.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. And I like seeing the officers at the East Coast Community Day. Then I'll be at the fair every night doing pizza. So everyone's welcome to go to the pizza. My wife might help do the pizza tent. So I do want to see the drone stuff. So I'll let Dick make sure Dick's aware of that as well.
And you can be assured that I'll be there. I was there last year to go to your booth to buy a t-shirt. I didn't know you gave them away, but that's even better. I love that price. But the weather, we had a terrible storm.
Yeah, that's right. You got chased out of there.
I got chased out while I was politely asked to leave. I prefer that over chased out. I think everybody left.
Yeah.
So,
You might hit under our tent.
Barbie,
We hit on our tent now, our tent down.
That's right.
well, yeah, I'd love to see your operation.
Any other comments from the officers? That was great. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for everyone's help in this budget. I know it's not fun, but it's very helpful to be able to go to our boards. So with that, I'm going to turn over to the overtime report. I don't know if it was just me, but I don't know if everything cut off on my printing. I don't think I missed anything, but all right, it's good. All right, go ahead, Kathy. Dave, sorry.
That's all right. So for June, there was a total of 137.5 hours overtime, 21.5 were operational. 88 of those were sick overtime hours, 28 hours of training overtime. That's down from May and April.
What was last year's June?
Last year's June. So this is going to be a little different because obviously I wasn't at the PC meeting last month. So this change that we have now, I guess it was decided that it would report on a monthly
Which is
basis.
the 1st to the 30th or 31st of the month rather than pay 4 weeks of pay. So it's just going to be a.
So this is going to be a.
Don't worry about them.
But it would be,
What would it?
so June 17th to the 14th, 172 hours from what we had for last year.
So the community event, that's when we ran it, 7 hours of community event OT. That's
So-
out of
so-
$80 at that point.
So for the community event OT, there was, are you looking at the sheet?
The June sheet, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a mistake on that initial one. The community event OT was all paid for by East Goshen Township with the exception of 3 hours. So there's only 3 hours that we had Officer Purcell there as part of our community outreach event for the program. The department paid for his overtime on that. The rest of the community day was paid by the township.
So if Westtown has a community day that has overtime that's incurred, Westtown pays for it?
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions on the overtime report? Month-end report.
Again, our payroll expenses for June are about 1% under budget. Our benefit expenses are 22% under budget, mostly due to the public officials and police liability, cyber insurance is paid at the end of the year. Vehicle expenses were 7.5% over budget. We discussed that earlier. Maintenance is high. Our other expenses are about 20% over budget. The staff and study payment and grant expenses that were reimbursed would reduce that significantly. Our total budget is about 6.5% under budget. And again, I am assuming that we'll have about 250,000 surplus at the end of the year. Mostly due
How
to
much?
250, mostly due to the fact that Dave Leahy is the interim chief right now. So the former chief's salary from May through December won't be paid. And the officer that resigned at the end of the year, we have not paid him. Obviously, he's not here. We have replaced him, but and there was another, I can't think of the other one, but my assumption is 250 grand.
Any questions on the monthly report? Dom,
Nope.
the room? Rock and roll to the PPU report. We are not taking PPUs, but
Yes, just for the record, the split between East Goshen and West Town for PPU year to date is 45.61% for West Town, 54.39% for East Goshen. West Town was up a little bit last month, obviously, because I stated the high volume, call volume because of the storm.
any questions on the PPUs from town? They're
I
real.
really how I feel about PPU.
With that, I'm gonna open up the floor for public comment. There's good in the room, good on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Speak now, forever hold your peace. With that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, I need to see you and Kathy for 5 minutes after the meeting. If something's come up during the meeting.
Okay. Well, I'd still want to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
All second. that.
vigorously
All in
to
favor? Aye. Tom said aye.
Aye. Oh, yeah.
2-0. Thanks, everyone.
Russ, did you say something then first and then we'll?
It's expected.
wait, you guys are- I want to just talk to you guys after you guys are done with Kathy.
Oh, okay, good.